8 years. 8 years this show made us wait to find out what happened to Snowball, the Smith family dog who got supercharged with intelligence, developed a comprehensive hatred of humankind, and launched a full-blown Planet of the Apes situation in Season 1 before quietly disappearing from the series entirely. No follow-up. No closure. Just gone. Like the show filed him away in a cabinet labeled Someday, and then forgot which drawer. Well, Someday is apparently Season 9, Episode 5. And here's the thing. The wait was actually worth it. Not because this episode is flawless, but because it uses Snowball to do something genuinely uncomfortable. Something the show at its best has always been willing to do. Hold a mirror up and make you look at it until you feel bad about what you're seeing. Let's talk about it. But first, Jerry. Because of course there's a Jerry thing happening simultaneously. The episode opens at the Smith house with Jerry gearing up for a job hunt and already carrying the specific flavor of humiliation that is Jerry's natural atmosphere. What's sharp here is the detail that his family has stopped even bothering to mock him about being unemployed, which Jerry correctly identifies as worse than the mockery. Being beneath ridicule is its own category of degrading, and the show earns a real laugh out of it in about 4 seconds flat. Enter Space Beth, making her first appearance of the season, who is already a welcome injection of energy and hands Jerry has something called worry worms. Living alien organisms that literally consume the anxiety of whoever ingests them and then die. A biological Xanax, essentially. Jerry hesitates, and naturally Jerry eats one. What follows is the Jerry plot this season has been building toward without knowing it. A version of Jerry who is so chemically unburdened by self-doubt that he becomes, against all logic, functional. His job interview goes well. His dinner with a potential investor goes well. Everything goes well. The problem, as Rick clocks when Jerry gets home, is that running this mini-worms on nervous energy requires a lot of nervous energy, and Jerry has been enthusiastically providing it. 20% of his body mass is now a worm colony. The situation escalates from there into exactly the kind of catastrophic absurdity the show does effortlessly. A trip to the worm dealer's Sweet Marie, a fight, multiple deaths, and Jerry fleeing to attend a business dinner mid-crisis because, of course, he does. The Jerry material is solid, not transcendent, but it's doing its job providing the comedic pressure valve that lets the Snowball story get as dark as it needs to. Now, the main event. Morty has taken a week off to visit Snowball, who, after abandoning his original plan to subjugate humanity, has spent the intervening years building an entire civilizational structure in a separate dimension populated entirely by sentient dogs. On the surface, it looks like a genuine achievement. Advanced infrastructure, functioning society, no humans. Snowball made it work. And then you look a little closer. Because what the dogs have done, in the absence of humans to resent, is find something else to domesticate. The Mancors, ape-like humanoid creatures native to the dimension, have been selectively bred, genetically modified, and psychologically hollowed out into creatures the dogs call mups. Compliant, customizable, engineered to please their masters, and stripped of self-awareness in the process. Sound familiar? It should. It's the pet industry, beat for beat, with the species hierarchy swapped. This is the episode's central gut punch, and the show delivers it with real restraint. It doesn't editorialize. It doesn't have a character turn to the camera and explain the irony. It just shows you the mup breeding center with all the specific, stomach-turning detail that implies it and lets it sit there. Morty sees it. Morty understands it. And Morty, in one of his more quietly mature moments this season, makes a deliberate choice to say nothing. Because what exactly is he going to say? Humans invented this. Snowball learned from watching them. The argument Morty would make condemns the people who raised him. What makes Snowball work as a character? What makes this episode more than just a clever irony exercise is that Snowball knows. He's known the whole time. Every attempt to frame the mup situation as benevolent, every careful euphemism he uses while giving Morty the tour, is the behavior of someone who has rehearsed their justifications so many times they've started to believe them, and then immediately betrayed that they haven't. There's this undercurrent of self-loathing running through Snowball's entire presentation that the episode wisely doesn't over-explain. He's not just reproducing human cruelty. He's unable to stop reproducing it despite being explicitly aware that it's cruelty. The curse of intelligence, as he puts it later, is that it doesn't make you better. It just makes you better at rationalizing. Morty's attempt to leave quietly goes sideways when Snowball has him attacked, a telling move for a character who was supposedly showing off how civilized his society has become. Morty gets captured by wild mancors, is brought to their forest tribe, meets the only one of their species capable of human speech, and gets handed a mess he categorically did not ask for. He didn't come here to lead a rebellion. He came to hang out with his dog. And yet, the subsequent war arc, Morty training and leading the mancors, the dog army deploying full cybernetic mech suits because Snowball was always extra, and the mancor leader dying mid-battle and dumping the weight of her entire people onto Morty runs hot and doesn't overstay its welcome. The action is handled efficiently. The show isn't pretending this is a war epic. It's pretending it's an absurd situation that got catastrophically out of hand because Morty was too emotionally attached to leave when he should have. The episode's emotional payoff happens in a panic room, which feels appropriate. Morty and Snowball, surrounded by the war they've both partially caused, just talking. Snowball drops the performance, admits the shame he's been carrying, and Morty, rather than delivering a moral verdict, offers him something more useful. The observation that maybe the capacity for discrimination and violence is just what intelligence produces, regardless of species, and maybe that's not entirely anyone's fault. It's a bleak thesis delivered with surprising warmth, and it's the kind of moment this show earns when it's being careful. It doesn't redeem Snowball. It doesn't excuse the MUPs or the eugenics program or any of it. It just acknowledges that cycles are hard to break and that two old friends can still love each other inside a situation that is genuinely terrible. Rick's solution to the whole dimensional catastrophe is, characteristically, narcotics. Specifically, a steady supply of Jerry-produced worry worms distributed equally to dogs, mancors, and MUPs. Remove the anxiety, remove the conflict. It's reductive, it's probably temporary, and it might be the most pragmatic ending the show has ever written. Whether it holds is left deliberately open. Hopefully Snowball comes back before another 8 years pass. Before we wrap, peak Worrywart Jerry deserves its moment. A near-total worm infestation transforms Jerry into something approaching a deity of effortless cool. The plane sabotage, the crash landing, and the mid-air delivery of Bob's child were all executed with the serene confidence of a man who has neurochemically transcended the concept of stakes. Chris Parnell plays Maximum Worm Jerry like a late-night infomercial version of Enlightenment, and it is genuinely one of the funnier extended Jerry sequences the show has produced in years. The punchline that all of this results in Jerry simply getting the job is perfect. The universe tortures Jerry elaborately and then pays him minimum wage for it. Some things are eternal. Snowball's Chance is the best episode of Season 9 so far, and it's not particularly close. It's doing the thing that separates peak Rick and Morty from just decent Rick and Morty, using genre absurdity as a delivery mechanism for something that actually lands. The eugenics as pet culture angle is uncomfortable in exactly the way it should be. Morty gets genuine character work, and Snowball's return justifies every year of absence. Season 9 has found its footing. Drop your thoughts below. Subscribe if you're not already there. See you next week.